Hello and welcome to the Bears and Lions podcast. This is the podcast where we challenge our present by viewing our past. I'm a firm believer that our greatest future lies within the correct view of our past, because when you actually look at it, you're going to see that sometimes you wake up and you're not fully recharged. And some days it just feels like you're at like 50% of charge. And how in the world are you going to make it through the day? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today, is the idea of being fully charged, and is it even possible? I'm really excited about this conversation. I hope that you enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side. I was driving home from work the other day, and I was charging my phone. It was sitting in the passenger seat. I didn't realize it was directly in the sunlight. It was just baking. And really quickly, I got this notification. Your charging will resume when your iPhone has returned to normal temperature, because it was just getting so hot. And the phone, thank goodness, knew the environment that we're in is not optimal for charging. We're going to stop charging because we don't want to do any damage. And I'm wondering how often we don't think of the environment we're in, and we end up doing more damage than good when we're trying to recharge, because we'll do whatever it takes, whether it's gym or Netflix and chill or nap or sleep. But maybe the environment we're in is causing us to never feel fully recharged. And that's what I want to talk to you today about, is the idea of being fully charged. Is it possible? Because if you ask yourself, or if you run into a friend, or you text a friend, or you call a friend, or you run into them at the market and ask them, how are you doing? I almost can guarantee you may hear, I'm doing good, I'm doing well, I'm doing great. But there's always some form of caveat of, I'm just resting today, or I'm tired, or I've been pretty busy. And it's this feeling that like you're just not fully charged. Like they need to have a little bit of extra rest, or you need to have a little bit of time for themselves. And it's cool that we can learn from our smart devices. And I really want to challenge that thought today of learning from the programming that's in our smart devices, because they can tell, hey, the environment that you're in is not optimal for the charging to take place right now. It's only going to do more damage if we keep charging. So we're going to go ahead and stop. It also has the ability to tell like the percentage of battery that's being used. And I didn't realize this, but many of our smart devices, whether it's our phones or Apple Watches, they have this smart charge or optimal charge where it won't fully recharge the battery even when it's plugged in. Instead, it'll charge based on usage, and its full goal is to drain the battery completely. And because the battery has some form of memory, and if it's only using 25% of the battery, then eventually it'll begin to react as if it only has 25% of battery life. That's it. And I think people are the same. If we never fully drain our battery, then we forget that we are capable of so much more in life. And we end up feeling drained, even though we have so much more to offer, but we just can't seem to access all of it. And it's this feeling like I can't quite get there, right? It's the day that you wake up and you feel like it's 75%, or it's the day where you have a big project and you get to this point where your brain is like, that's it, I'm done. It's that Friday afternoon when you have a project and you know you should finish it, but it's 3:00 and your last hour is kind of draining and you just feel burnt and you just feel like you don't have it in you to finish, and you know you should do it. You should just find a way to get it done so you don't have to start over on Monday or figure out where you are after the weekend. But you instead say, no, you know what? This is going to be Monday. Let's take care of it Monday with a fresh mind and everything like that. I can't access what I need to. And I'm a proponent of, when you get to that point, if you go through some protocols and you still are not there, then it's always best to do your optimal work earlier in the day when you feel fresh or feel refreshed. And once you get to that point where you've done all your protocols and there's nothing else you can really do, go ahead and clock out, because you're only going to make it worse. You're not going to be able to get it done, and you'll be able to attack it with a fresh battery and a fresh mind on Monday. But there is a point of, how do we even know the protocols? How do we even check that do we have any more in the tank, or is this just muscle memory? And I've noticed where in my life, especially a couple years ago, I was always tired. I felt there was like a year and a half that went by where I felt like every day I woke up, I was on 50% charge. And I was wondering what in the world has taken place? Like, why am I feeling this way? It's that feeling of that anxiety, depression, when you wake up and you just don't feel like you can give your all today. You feel like everything you've got is that 40 or 50%. And so you just kind of sluggishly go through the day. It's not enjoyable for you, and it doesn't make you an enjoyable person to be around because you just don't feel like you're able to give what other people deserve or what you think other people should be able to have, or what you want to offer other people. And so you just kind of feel weighted, like you're at half capacity. And I actually didn't realize that the smart devices have all this optimal charge until recently. A couple weeks ago, I went on a vacation, or I went on a work trip, but my Apple Watch, I had noticed for about a month, it was only charging to 80% or so. And I was like, why is it only charging to 80%? Like, I just got this thing not too long ago. Is the battery dying already? Like, that's not good. And when I would plug it in, it would say optimal charge at this point, and I would have it charging overnight, but it would only charge to about 80%. But then I went on that work trip and I was busy throughout the day. I was using the apps on my watch. I was up a little bit later than normal. I was a little bit more active than normal as far as just walking and moving and doing things. And the watch, like 3 days in a row, got down to like 5%. I had to go into the battery saving mode near the end of the day. After I got back, I remember the first time I plugged it in after those few days of draining it all the way down to like that 5% each day. And when I got back, I charged it overnight, and I woke up and I looked, and it was at 100% charge again. It had gotten into this rhythm where I was only using about 80 or 60 to 80% of the battery every day. So it was only charging to 60 to 80% to optimize it, to make sure that the battery was being used in full. Once I drained it all the way, it realized that it can access the whole amount. It's used the whole battery up, so let's recharge it all the way. And I think people do this all the time, where we will create these ideas in our head of, this is how I recharge. I recharge by reading books, or I recharge by taking a nap, or I recharge by binge watching TV shows. That's me. I recharge by going to the gym. And all of those may be, charging capabilities. However, if you do it in a rhythm, which rhythms are good, but if you do it with the rhythm of just doing it and going through the motions, I feel like sometimes even then you can run into some form of rut. And you're like, I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to do. I'm eating healthy. I'm going to the gym. I'm sleeping healthily. I'm getting good sleep. What is going on? And I think there's a last little thing, a part of being fully charged that changes everything. And I look at my life, especially a couple of years ago when I was waking up at like 50%, 60% at best, to now. Now I wake up, most of my days, I feel like I wake up 90 to 97%. There are some days when I wake up around 85%, but I am more optimally charged now. And I think what's changed is purpose. The purpose that goes along with how excited I am to wake up, how excited I am to get to work, how excited I am to go and do the things that I want to do. Because I'm not just working out. All of those things are great and beneficial because I have a rhythm around it, but I have purpose as well. Previously, I was waking up, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So every day I'd wake up, I'd be like, there's nothing I really have to do other than, the normal things that we have to do throughout our life. But I wasn't really feeling excited about any of it. So I'd wake up kind of depressed and a little bit, full of anxiety. And I bet you know the feeling. I bet you know that feeling of waking up and it's like, I'm not really in love with my job. I'm not really in love with this idea, or I'm not really enjoying what I'm doing to the extent that it's giving me purpose. You're just trying to find purpose in anything. And so you just kind of wake up and you're like, I'm kind of lacking that motivation and drive because I don't know what I'm driving for. And over the past year, I wake up, one, with the motivation to do this podcast, to live a life that is worth talking about. Yeah, right? Like a podcast is just, a lot of people might listen to me just talk about life, but I want to add value of these are the things that I'm doing, and I challenge you to do cool things too. I challenge you to do exciting things as well, because the more I've done them, the more excited I am about life. But the other part of the last year or so is I've woken up with the mentality of I'm going to get the job that I want. I'm going to pursue my career. I'm going to pursue the things I want to do. And it's happened. It's been happening. I moved to Baltimore in December for a new job. I'm about to finish training for that new job, which is a long training. But that's because it's a very good training program and it's a very good job. And I'm very excited because I feel like I can actually immediately progress and immediately bring a little bit to the table for the team, right? I can contribute to the team because they've trained me so well. And I am really excited about that. So every day I wake up, I'm closer to that 90, 100% than normal because I feel like I'm adequately draining. Every day I'm giving it everything I can at the gym. I'm giving it everything I can at work. I'm giving it everything I can in diet and exercise, and giving it everything I can in my communication and my conversations. And I'm giving it everything I can in my knowledge, where I'm listening to podcasts or listening to audiobooks while I'm in traffic. And I'm trying to optimize everything I do to be the best version of myself. So when I go to bed at night, a lot of times I lay down and I'm just like, I gave it my all. I drained the battery, and I'm optimally going to charge all the way to 100% or to the maximum amount that I have the ability to charge to, because tomorrow we're going to get to do it all over again. And I'm excited about that. I wanted to challenge you with this thought because I think that a lot of people are lacking that purpose. They're lacking that drive. They're lacking the vision to go and do something. And I genuinely believe that some of you need to stop trying to recharge, and you need to start trying to drain your battery all the way. You need to reset your mindset and your expectations of yourself. And you need to remember that you have so much to give this world. So stop throwing a pity party, stop blaming your choices on your circumstances, and go start making choices that change your circumstances. Because I promise you, the moment that you start making choices that change your circumstances, you're going to be excited to wake up every single day, because you're going to wake up living the life that you've always wanted to live. It's so refreshing when I wake up and my alarm goes off. I'm still tired. It's hard to wake up when I wake up. And I'm not saying everybody needs to wake up early, but I wake up at 4:45 in the morning. It's hard to do that. But I get excited even though I'm tired and exhausted. I would say 6 out of 7 days of the week, I wake up and I turn on all the lights, floodgate my eyes with some light, and I start to work. I start to work on myself. So I do Bible reading in the morning, and then I go to the gym because I know I want to be active before, not after. The reason before is because I think it sets the tone for the rest of the day, and it gives me the ability where while I'm dealing with things at work, I've already done the hard. So anytime somebody's upset or anything that goes wrong or anything that is coming up against me and I'm just like stressed out, I can say, take a deep breath. You've already done the hard part. Now do the personal part, the thing that you have lived your life to do, the thing that you've trained to do. Now do that part, because that that it's in your DNA. But you've done the hard part of earning the discipline or earning your peace throughout your day by putting in the work in the morning. So I do all those things and it's still hard. And I'm not, tooting my own horn saying, ooh, look at me, look at me. I'm saying it's still hard. It's not easy for me. And there are days when I wake up, that 1 out of the 7 days where I wake up and I literally have to tell myself, stop complaining. Your circumstances do not dictate your future. Your choices dictate your future. So make a choice today. Make a choice and go do something about it so that tomorrow when you wake up, you're more excited about life. That's going to do it for this conversation. I know it was a little bit short, but I just thought it was so unique that my phone was giving me advice about life. So I hope that you will enjoy. I hope that each and every one of you have a phenomenal week. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to give grace, show love, and as always, stay stellar. Peace.